Okay, welcome to Project 1 for CS306. This is Andrew. I'm going to go over the project with you. The project consists of two components. One is this video that I'm making now, and also the PowerPoint slide. This video here helps describe the PowerPoint slide, and together they hope to give you a complete description of the project. Okay, so if you look here, this is a video I found about a gentleman that was using MATLAB and a microcontroller to acquire analog signals. So I'd like you to watch this video. Don't panic. You don't have to use MATLAB or any computer programming language for this project, but it kind of fits with the project. And in that case, what I'm going to do is make this video the discussion question for the week. So basically, you'll watch this video and say how this guy could have adapted this video to fit our project. Should he include sampling or more encoding? What things did he leave out and what things did he include that would fit to our project? So this is going to give you an idea of everything you really need to do for the project, okay? So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the PowerPoint slides. All right, make a PowerPoint show here. Okay, so this is data acquisition and coding. So I'm not going to read everything to you here, but I'll go over most of it. So what you want to do is pick 4 sensors, okay? We know there's sensors everywhere in the environment, okay? Then select it. Then prepare a report providing information about each of the sensors. Okay, the application of the sensor to a real-world problem, the physical phenomena, the environment in which the sensor is used, capabilities and limitations of the sensor, how the sensor and sensor systems function, the data output of the sensor, and how it's formatted. Okay, so basically you have to address these issues for each sensor, okay? So the overview will be, you can read through this, but basically, if we've been discussing it in class, and then in the book and in the discussion questions, you should be addressing it. You don't have to, like, for example, you don't have to do sampling in all 4 sensors, but you should do sampling in at least one and coding in at least one. You should try to hit on all the topics we've been discussing over the 4 sensors. Okay, I hope that's clear. So these days, sensors are often microcontrollers or microcomputers, or rather, let's say, sensors are built into microcontrollers and microcomputers. The collected information may be processed on the microcontroller or sent to another computer for processing. So that's basically what this guy's doing with the video that I sent you. This is the video that's pasted on the announcement page. This is the MATLAB microcontroller. So go watch that video, and then we're gonna hit these points a little bit. So did he discuss the application of the sensor to a real-world problem? No, not really. He didn't really discuss this. He was just more demonstrating how it was connected, how it worked, the code he wrote, things like that. The physical phenomena being sensed, temperature, yes, he did do that. The environment in which the sensor is used, no, he didn't really say that either, but you know, a temperature sensor could be used in like a cooler that's used to store temperature sensitive medicine, or if it goes under a certain over a certain temperature, it could go bad, and you know, you don't want that. Capabilities and limitations of the sensor. Well, if you watch the video, you'll see it is a microcontroller. So not only is it a sensor, it could also be used to adjust the temperature. It could be used to report back information about, you know, if the system's down, or it could, you know, send off an alarm if the temperature drops below or goes above a certain level. So there's a lot more that you can do with a microcontroller than just a sensor alone. So that's one of the capabilities of this specific device that he is using. But the limitations may be, at least I understand by the way he presented, is you have to have a cable connection, at least the way he set it up, and to a computer. So, that may or may not be a problem in some instances, but it's a limitation. So, some instances it might be nice if you could just, and they do have like wireless tracking devices that they also use for medicines, and it works right through your internet. So theoretically, you could set up a web page that monitors all of that, and you could access it from anywhere. You can get on the internet, then you could see what the temperature is of all the medicines in the hospital or the facility or whatever, and have alarms created. So there is some limitations to this device he was using. Okay, so how the sensor and the sensor systems function. He described that pretty well at high level. He gave like a wiring diagram. He told how the voltage comes out of the microcontroller, and then he has to convert that voltage using equations to a specific temperature. He didn't go too much into like encoding and sampling, but he did discuss analog signals and digital a little bit. How the data output of the sensor and how it's formatted. Yeah, he explained the functions he made. He explained the functions he made in MATLAB, and he showed that it was stable over time. He took the temperatures a few times, but if he was submitting that as a paper, I would say he didn't quite include everything here. But I do want you to understand, if you really cover sampling, so you have to do, let's go to the next page. You have to do 4 sensors. So if you really covered sampling in one of the sensors, you don't have to go into detail into sampling in all of the sensors. So what you want to do is a write-up and conclusion. Include what you learned. Like I said, try to include all the topics we've been discussing, sampling and coding and so on. You want to go through all 6 of these steps for all 4 sensors, and then, in the final conclusion, just include what you learned. If you chose a sensor for a specific application, let's say, and then once you get to the capabilities and limitations, and you start to realize, well, it does have some limitations, in your conclusion you could say, well, I might choose a different sensor if I was actually going to build this project, because the one I chose initially has these limitations, and I think this other one would be better. Things like that in a conclusion. All right. Thanks a lot. Be sure you watch the other video, the MATLAB video, and we're going to be using that in the discussion this week and try to get everything cleared up for you for the project. All right. Thanks a lot, and good luck.